Attempting to memorize isolated current affairs without a system leads to cognitive overload. During high-stakes exams, a random list of facts will fail you. To retain this volume of data, you have to file it into specific testing pillars. This syllabus matrix creates the necessary framework to build analytical intuition. Pillar 1 tracks banking, economy, and regulatory shifts. For April 2026, this focuses on the Reserve Bank of India's latest liquidity measures. Pillar 2 covers strategic science and sovereign infrastructure, mapping India's physical energy grids and its new computational architecture. Pillar 3 indexes global indices, tracking international appointments and the cultural data required for objective exam tiers. Mapping information to these pillars aligns your review with the logical structure of high-level exam questions. This builds the analytical context needed to evaluate the complex, multi-statement prompts that define competitive testing. April 1st marks the foundation day of the Reserve Bank of India. Assessing its modern policy shifts requires a firm grasp of its historical baseline. The mandatory static timeline begins with the 1926 Hilton-Young Commission, the resulting RBI Act of 1934, and the bank's nationalization in 1949. Building on that foundation, the RBI's dynamic 2026 updates include the introduction of paperless e-checks and the deployment of MuleHunter.ai to detect money laundering. The macroeconomic objective of these tightenings is the stabilization of the Indian rupee against the volatility caused by geopolitical tensions in West Asia. This regulatory hardening extends to retail banking, where commercial banks are now closing loopholes that previously allowed zero-cost cash circulation. The first major change reclassifies UPI-based cardless cash withdrawals. These are now officially classified as standard ATM transactions. This reclassification rapidly exhausts a user's monthly free limits. Once that limit is crossed, each subsequent transaction triggers a 23 rupee fee. Simultaneously, Punjab National Bank has implemented aggressive liquidity restrictions by halving its daily cash withdrawal limits. For standard debit cards, the limit drops from 100,000 to 50,000 rupees. Premium card limits have fallen from 150,000 to 75,000 rupees. Bandhan Bank has introduced parallel restrictions specifically for customers utilizing competitor ATMs. In metro cities, Bandhan users are restricted to 3 free monthly transactions, with a 25 rupee penalty applied for any transaction that fails due to an insufficient balance. The RBI and commercial banks are simultaneously hardening digital tracking and restricting physical cash velocity to secure India's macroeconomic baseline. Turning to strategic science, the state of Andhra Pradesh has set a historic milestone in India's computational infrastructure. On April 14, 2026, the state will launch India's first quantum computer as part of the Amaravati Quantum Valley project. This maps a required technological distinction. Unlike a classical binary bit that toggles between 0 and 1, a qubit exists in a state of superposition, processing both states simultaneously. The strategic objective of the Amaravati project is self-reliance, aiming to reduce dependence on imported high-tech components through local innovation. Shifting geographically to Kochi, Kerala, the sovereign focus transitions from digital processing to biological preservation. The Ministry of Earth Sciences has officially established the Bhavasagara Referral Center to document India's deep-sea life forms. Its legal status is a key exam detail. The MoEFCC has officially recognized Bhavasagara as the national repository for deep-sea fauna. This dynamic deployment derives its legal authority from the Static Biological Diversity Act of 2002. The center already houses 3,500 specimens, aligning India with the UN Decade of Ocean Science to expand its blue economy. From engineering qubits in Amaravati to cataloging deep-sea DNA in Kochi, India is expanding the legal and physical infrastructure required for sovereign computational and resource management. India's energy independence is anchored by a nuclear power network operated by the NPCIL. There are currently 22 nuclear reactors working across 7 plant sites, generating approximately 6,780 megawatts of electricity. Statistically, 18 of these are pressurized heavy water reactors, while the remaining 4 are light water reactors. For static GK, identify the oldest site, Tarapur Atomic Power Station in Maharashtra, established in 1969. This heavy water architecture actually defines the majority of India's early nuclear fleet. Geography matching questions require you to locate the remaining sites. Kakrapar in Gujarat, Kalpakkam in Tamil Nadu, Narora in Uttar Pradesh, Kaiga in Karnataka, and the site in Rajasthan. Note the scale of the Kudankulam nuclear power plant in Tamil Nadu, which alone generates 2,000 megawatts. Memorizing the geographic distribution and historical sequence of these 7 sites is a required step for mastering national energy policy. Shifting to our third pillar, global indices, we begin with a leadership change signaling India's aviation expansion. Aviation veteran William Walsh has been appointed as the new CEO of Indigo. Walsh previously led British Airways and served as the Director General of IATA, an organization controlling 80% of all global air traffic. His experience connects to Indigo's strategy to enter the long-haul international market using new A350 aircraft. Pivoting to international cultural benchmarks, we look at the International Booker Prize 2026. The £50,000 prize will be awarded on May 19th at the Tate Modern in London. The shortlist, including novels like The Nights Are Quiet in Tehran, focuses on themes of displacement, exile, and human resilience. European demographic indices provide a necessary look at the linguistic landscape beyond English. Russian is officially the most spoken native language in Europe, accounting for roughly 120 to 160 million speakers. Scientific data shows that Russian speakers have distinct vocabulary for shades of blue, increasing their speed of color recognition. This utility extends off-planet. Russian is the mandatory space language for international missions. Every astronaut traveling to the International Space Station must learn it as a survival language. Whether tracking IATA frameworks or European linguistic dominance, these international indices reveal the hidden networks governing global policy. This briefing reinforces a core strategy. Current affairs must never be studied in isolation from their historical baselines. Consider the Reserve Bank. Their 2026 deployment of Mule Hunter AI is legally anchored by the Static RBI Act of 1934. Similarly, the Bhava Sagara Center is a new dynamic deployment, but it derives its operational authority from the Static Biological Diversity Act of 2002. High-level exam questions are engineered to test the specific intersection of historical law and modern deployment. Processing facts as a list guarantees failure. Mapping them into a conceptual matrix